Bills didn't just get the win. They exposed some weaknesses for the Kingdom, but we've seen this before, and I think there's a path forward. We're going to talk about it right now. Welcome to the Red Kingdom recap. I'm Stefan Bunch here with Mark McNelly.
Good morning, Stefan.
It's not that good of a morning.
Rough morning, Stefan.
Rough morning. But we're going to talk about this game against the Bills. It's always a big one for us. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to take a deep breath. We're going to work through it.
Yeah.
We're going to see what happens.
Let's work through this together.
I will say the NFL is kind of a roller coaster right now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like last week, people were talking about the Chiefs were on top of the mountain. Mm-hmm. 1, maybe 2, and now it's like...
some power rankings had us first, right?
Exactly.
And then we were, odds-on favorite for the Super Bowl.
Mahomes was odds-on favorite for the MVP.
Correct, yeah.
I'm afraid to look and see what it's going to look like this week.
Yeah.
But I would say some analysts are going to say we're not even going to make the playoffs at this point.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. Let's see what you think.
Well, as of today, we are not in the AFC playoff picture. We're in the hunt.
Yeah, we're in the hunt. But I think every podcast we've had, we've still been in the hunt. I don't think we've ever crossed over.
Last week we did.
We did?
We were the 7th seed coming into this week.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we got some work to do, but we'll talk through it. What were some of your key takeaways right off the bat with the game?
I think it's the trenches tell the story. For me, you look at Mahomes' stat line, you look at Allen's stat line, and that's what the national media is probably going to focus on. Allen outplayed Mahomes, which is obvious, but stat line shows that, the eye test shows it. But Allen had time. He, on the dropbacks, he had a running game, first of all, that could set up the pass. And then he sat back there, had time. Mahomes looked like he did last year when we had all those issues at tackle. And I think that's the tail of the tape, honestly.
Yeah, well, I'll say this. Right off the bat, the first drive came through. Bills were rolling down the field. Mm-hmm. I was obviously a little bit nervous right off the bat, but we've seen it multiple times this year.
I actually wasn't, because we talked about how first drive, Spags is kind of just reading, what's their game plan. Uh-huh. The secondary seems to be kind of on its heels. Let's bend but don't break if we can. Yeah. See what they're doing. But no, that was a precursor of
what was to come.
Getting torched.
And so, but I will say also, and we'll talk about it here in a bit, but second half came around. Mm-hmm. We got the ball 3 and out, frustrating, but our defense only gave up 7 points in the second half. If there was an avenue to get the win, our defense started to get it together.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they began to dominate, but they gave us a window, to come back, and we didn't,
Yeah, absolutely.
Climb through the window.
Some of the key stats, though, if we look at the stats after the game, you think this is going to be a win for the Bills because, first and foremost, running back got 117 yards.
Yeah, first time we've given up 100 yards to a running back in 30 games.
Something.
2023.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. And so that's obviously something.
And what we've hung our hat on is, okay, our front 4 is suspect. We're worried about the personnel there. Who else is on the inside with Chris Jones? All of these things. Right? Yeah. But we've always been able to stop the run. Like when Spags is just committed to stop the run, we've been able to hold Derrick Henry and J.K. all of these key running backs, the 2 in Detroit. But that didn't happen.
Yeah, and we weren't getting the pressure we needed.
So we were giving up the run and pass rush.
Yeah. I think for me, when I looked at the defensive strategy, I mean, obviously in Spags, we trust the whole thing. And we did have a path forward. Our offense had to get some things together. Mm-hmm. But in the middle right there, like the slot and the tight end position was just wide open all day. What do you think contributed to that?
I feel like we had to keep the box heavy to at least hold the run to what we did.
Shape.
Honestly, yeah. And then so what does that do? Well, that has fewer safeties on the field, that has fewer guys in the secondary. And so then you have Drew Tranquil, frankly, matched up against Kincaid and Knox and this other tight end they have that I've never heard of, but he's torching us too.
Exactly. Yeah. And we've had linebackers against slot receivers as well. And it's just killing us on that end.
It is.
And so I know that it was a gash. I know that scheme wise, we're feeling things out, but I just could not stand watching Tranquil run 10 yards behind their tight end. It looked
and fall down on the one touchdown.
Completely torched us. And so he was around the ball a lot. And I was just frustrated. I was texting you multiple times. I'm like, come on.
And I was waiting till this morning I shared before we went on air that how much of that is on Tranquil, right? How much of that is just scheme and coaching and putting him in a position he shouldn't be in?
Yeah, and our front four has to get some movement up in the front. And
and you wonder, like, there's a coach and GM, national media, who says, at this point in the season, the answer has to be in the building, right? Because who are we going to get? We have no salary cap. There's all this talk about a big trade that we're going to make today because the trade deadline is tomorrow.
Yeah.
We have $1.6 million on the salary cap.
Yeah, so not much space. That's not a Jalen Phillips or anything like that.
I mean, unless they do some Houdini magic with like restructuring.
Somebody,
sure, there could be somebody they could restructure. But.
Yeah, but I think that is one definite answer. The only thing that kind of confuses me is that we've seen this go back and forth. Like our defense will have 3 solid games, but then we'll play against the Jags.
Shut down the Lions offense. Shut down the Ravens offense, which there was all this talk about the Ravens injuries. Well, those injuries weren't on offense. And we shut them down.
Exactly.
You know, absolutely blanked the Raiders. They showed yesterday they have a little life.
Yeah.
And it's head scratching how
from one week to another, it can be so different.
Yeah. Chargers, Jags, and then I'd say Bills.
Yeah.
Where our defense just looks significantly vulnerable.
I don't really understand that, because I feel like mindset wise, we went into the game heavy, but it just seemed like the Bills were on another level in this game, at least in the first half. And we've just got to. Last week we had a slow start as well, and so we were talking about that. If you have a slow start against a team like the Bills, it's going to be much more difficult to come back.
Right. And with the personnel we have on defense, that puts Spags in a position that he can't even overcome.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So when Spags has a lead, okay, well now we can afford to blitz more. Well, now they've given up on the run.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And then when they had the lead, they could just bleed the clock.
Exactly.
Run it 3-4 yards.
Yep. And then get us to bite, right, on the run.
And then have the play action.
Right. Tight ends are running free.
Yeah, exactly. That is so frustrating. There was one 3rd and short right at the end that it was literally one of our plays, getting somebody out in the flat on the 3rd and short, and they pulled it on us, and I was so frustrated in that moment. It's kind of crazy the defense did make the stop. Obviously, the missed field goal.
But
and I felt, you texted me before that, but I was like, there's a chance here that something could happen.
No timeouts, and you need 7, and your offensive line is a turnstile
just
at that
giving
point.
Up
Anything's possible, I suppose.
So let's talk about our offense here.
Okay.
What were some key things that you saw in our offense? Why we couldn't get things rolling?
Sure.
When we did make things happen, what were some positives as well that we can take from this?
Well, some positives for me is Thornton got to see the field a little bit more, not only in the kick return, but on the field with the.
You have been right. You nailed that, though, with Thornton and the kick return. We were in the 40s a couple times, field position-wise.
Yeah, I was put in the stats here. I was blown away by the kick return stats from Thornton. He had 4 kick returns for 126 yards and a 34-yard average.
Dude, that's great.
I mean, I've been clamoring for more Thornton, right? Because
I like Remigio, but you're right. It's super good to have Thornton in on this thing. So, and then in offense as well, one positive I saw is that, and we'll talk about the 4th and 17 later, but just in general, I feel like we were able to get some splash plays. We had multiple 20-yard plus plays.
One thing missing in our offense the last few years has been big plays, right? Splash plays, chunk plays. And we were getting those.
Yeah.
Yeah. The before the half to Hollywood Brown.
Man, that I think was a big play for us. That at the literally half-yard line, and we could not get
get in 3 plays. Yeah.
Something.
Do you go for it there? What do you think?
I 100% go for it.
I agree.
Just based on the opponent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
3 points.
Well, and it played out, right? You're not going to beat the Bills with field goals.
Exactly.
We both scored 4 times. The Bills and Chiefs scored 4 times each. And we settled for 2 field goals.
Yep. So I think you've got to go for that. And with the way that Kareem Hunt is just getting it in there, I just feel like three shots.
Yeah.
Even though the first 2 did not look pretty.
They didn't, but they were predictable, honestly, especially with the formation.
Yeah, absolutely. And so
I love when they do that exotic formation stuff, in the red zone or near the goal line.
I like having Rashee Rice.
Some Chiefs don't like it because they think it's getting a little too cute, but
the only thing I don't like about it is I really wanted Mahomes to get a passing touchdown.
Yeah.
And so having Rashee run that in, I think it shows that it's a team sport. And like Andy Reid,
they're not playing for stats, they're playing for rings.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
So we've got the right mindset, but it's just a matter of getting it in. There were just a few plays there. It's kind of crazy to me. I felt like we did play really pretty poorly just across the board. And being able to, I know that people are going to say one thing or the other, but being able to be in a one-score game at the end, playing that poorly against that team, I think is still a positive in my books.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to bring up was if you just looked at the box score and then you just watched the game with no
You would think it's a lot closer
updates
than
on the score or the clock, you would think we lost by 15 to 20.
Yeah.
Honestly, we got outplayed. We got 3 for 13 in third down efficiency, 23 to 16 on first downs. They gained us by 100 yards. They had time of possession, 10-minute time of possession advantage.
Yeah.
So, like, you just look at that. You look at Mahomes and Allen stats head to head, and then obviously James Cook to our running backs. And you're like, how are we within a score in this game, right? How did we keep this to 7 points and actually have a drive to tie it?
Yeah, you're right. I do think one cool stat is our receiving stats. Did you see this?
No.
Let me pull this
take a look. Well, if I did, I don't remember.
Here we go. So,
oh, wow. Yeah.
These are crazy.
Yeah.
Bryce had 4 catches for 80 yards, average of 20. Hollywood Brown, 2 for 73, average of 36. Travis Kelce, 4 for 66.
Yeah.
Like, these are some big plays.
Another respectable night for Kelce, I felt like. And he was blocking too.
Yeah, he was he was in the trenches as well. And because he had to be.
Yeah.
Because we had some definite problems on our front 5. So let's talk through a little bit of those injuries coming off the bat. So we already were a little depleted.
Right.
You mentioned in the pre-cap that
shameless plug for the pre-cap.
There we go.
Right there. Yeah.
That Trey Smith, he's probably not going to be at 100, and that's going to affect us.
I felt like, he's trending to play. Well, he's had back spasms for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, is he going to be 100%?
Exactly.
I don't feel like he was.
And then
Jalen Moore has kind of regressed. Josh Simmons was out and he had 1 or 2 good games. We have this backup tackle, swing tackle, solves our problems. And Jalen Moore was getting pretty consistently pushed back into Mahomes last night.
And, I mean, that's a really good defensive front by the Bills.
It is on the edges, yeah.
Absolutely. But even our tackles, what's his name?
Jawan Taylor?
No, so guard.
Guard. Suamate, yeah.
That's the one. He got injured. He was trying to stay in there.
I know.
I'm thinking that's not a good idea.
And then so now Caliendo is going to come in. Well, he came in for 1 snap.
Yes.
And
here's the thing. A couple games ago when Jalen Moore and Caliendo were playing side by side, we had a pretty good front right there.
At least for the run. Yeah.
And then this time around, I'm thinking, dude, we've got the whole left side is banged up. We're in trouble.
Yeah.
And so,
is this reminding us of last year?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Jawan Taylor, literally, we just talked about the depth that we have at the line.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, we are getting exposed quickly.
We need Josh Simmons back.
We got to get him back.
Like, he's got to get back.
I'm all for whatever he's going through.
Yeah. And we support
making sure that's right.
That,
but,
right.
dude,
family
we've got to
first.
get him back.
Yeah.
So I am excited. We've got a bye week here. Get some of these guys healthy. Maybe at some point Josh Simmons will come back.
Yeah.
And that will be big for us.
Yeah.
We do not have an easy schedule in the next few games.
No.
So we'll have to kind of build a good game plan coming up. But I did love the stat line from the receivers. I know Mahomes, for having one of his worst games, to have receivers with those kind of yards, it's kind of crazy to think about. Like, we were complaining a little bit, and then I look around the NFL of teams like legit getting blown out and stuff, and I'm like, man, we are still pretty blessed to be where we're at.
Yeah. The bottom dwellers.
Exactly. And so,
there are some teams this year that are just straight hot garbage. Yeah.
Exactly. So we have not experienced something like that
in a long time.
Anytime Mahomes is on the field, we have a chance, which is huge.
Yeah.
So we've got a chance. We had a chance. Josh Allen played extremely well. One of my least favorite players in the NFL, but he looked good. He kind of had that Superman mentality. He was going to get the hard yards and get them done. So James Cook, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, the second half,
we
slowed him down.
Stifled him a little bit.
But, dude, those chunk plays that he's getting is just killing us. Those 8, 10, 12-yard plays.
And they were happening consistently.
He's been doing that all year, though.
Another little shameless plug for the pre-cap. You know what I mentioned on that?
What?
Was tackling. That we've had a really good tackling secondary and linebacker core, and we did not tackle well last night.
Chris Jones.
Let's just give them some props. I mean, James Cook is a great back, so he's not. I'm not saying he's easy to get down.
Yes,
but we did not tackle well.
Yeah,
first point of contact.
Chris Jones mentioned that in the presser afterwards as well. He's just like, we've got to get back to tackling, and we just weren't doing that today.
Yeah. Well, because 1 to 2 more stops, right?
That's all
throughout
it takes.
the whole evening, and it's maybe a different game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Especially right there at the end. I feel like there were multiple opportunities, some third downs that were key for us. What were the third down stats? Do you have that?
I do. Yeah. They were 7 for 12, and we were 3 for 13.
Yes. 3 for 13 on that.
Yeah.
And we went for fourth down. We went 3 times, 2 for 3.
2 for 3, yeah.
And they were 0 for 1 on a fourth down at the beginning.
Yeah.
That was also a really key back and forth there.
Yeah.
We got the turnover on downs.
I know both of those missed fourth down conversions were in the first half.
Yeah,
I believe. Yeah.
absolutely. We had a chance to not only, we could have been leading coming out of half if we would have gotten that score and then the next drive out of the halftime getting another score. It could have been a completely
How big of
different
a turn is that? You get the last possession of the first half, come out with the first possession of the second half. So if you go for it on fourth down, you get in, it's 21-17, right? You score a touchdown on the first drive, you're up 24-21.
Exactly.
Instead, we settle for a field goal, and then we 3 and out.
Yeah. And that's been a big sequence for us. We've been taking advantage of that this year. And so the fact that we could not get it in, and then on top of that, couldn't get anything going.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, Stefan. Do you know who we missed last night?
Let me think.
He's been a thorn in my side for a few years in various ways, but
who did we miss?
Isaiah Pacheco. I really did.
I did feel the energy was less.
It's energy, but it's also Kareem Hunt. Anytime we saw this with Rice and or Worthy out, anytime you put a good player in a position he's not perfectly fit for, it's not the same.
Yeah.
When Pacheco was our first and second down bell cow, and Kareem Hunt is the pass protection, the short yardage guy, it works.
It just works.
Yeah. And then you bring Bashard Smith along slowly. Yeah. And I think we missed him a lot last night.
I'm with you. Yeah. Bashard Smith, he just doesn't quite have what we need in that position.
No, and he's still a rookie.
Yeah. And then your favorite player, Clyde the Glide. I think he got 1 carry for -2 yards.
Can we do another deep breath, Stefan?
Let me see just to make sure. No, he got 2 carries for 5 yards. Okay. Yeah, that first carry, I'm thinking Mark's not going to like this.
No. I almost typed out a text to you, and then I decided not to. Well, there's so much backstory here. First of all, Clyde Edwards-Helaire has not been an NFL football player, in my opinion, for about 3 years.
Yeah.
Second of all, we paid Elijah Mitchell. Did you know he is our highest paid running back?
I was a little confused. I heard a little bit about that was just because CEH is familiar with the Bills. I don't know. Okay. I feel like Elijah Mitchell should have been the guy.
Yeah. Why have we had him on the 53-man roster and a healthy scratch every game? Yeah. Then we have Isaiah Pacheco go down and he's still a healthy scratch.
I'm a little confused by that.
And CEH, leapfrogs him. It makes no sense unless they didn't want to get him hurt and we're gonna trade him.
Maybe. Well, we'll see today or tomorrow.
Yeah, we will. I've wondered if, Elijah Mitchell and Christian Fulton might be trade bait.
Christian Fulton, same thing. He's just not been there.
Head scratcher. Solid veteran pro that just doesn't sniff the field.
And I feel like with Watson, I feel like there's a lot of competition that could be had there. Watson gets blown sometimes. And so having Christian Fulton on the field, I think would be a really good backup situation for him, but just not seeing him at all is kind of confusing.
It is. You have to feel like they're going to invest in Noah Williams is where they're at with it.
Which I like that.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that completely because Christian Fulton is still a hired gun. He's here this year. He may be gone next year. So.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that was key for us, though. Let's talk about the 4th and 17.
Yeah.
What did you think when you saw so we're at the 40-yard line.
Here's what I thought.
Field goal.
Yeah. Did
you think the game is over at that point? Is that what you thought? Like that we're just throwing everything out?
No, I actually am in this season a posture of we can actually convert 4th and 17s now because of the skill position players. Yeah. So I wasn't super shocked that we converted that. Here was my impression of that. That was a beautifully orchestrated play call.
Let's talk about it.
The fake rollout. Right, and then he freezes Bosa.
Bosa is not touched.
I know he's standing there just staring at Mahomes like deer in the headlights. He just bought 2 seconds here. Like, how did that happen?
If the Chiefs would have won, I was thinking this is going to be all over the internet saying that the game is rigged because Bosa could have smashed him.
They're going to be checking his checking account, on a gambling
That was a
racket.
crazy play. What a just courageous play. Yeah. Like, who comes up with that? You leave the best defender wide open coming to your quarterback.
And that's what left me scratching my head a little bit is the play calling for the most part seemed kind of vanilla last night. And there are a lot of people who think that Andy Reid is like holding his cards, right? Yeah. And you're going to see stuff in the playoffs you don't see in the regular season.
Exactly.
And that's why they beat us in the regular season. We beat them in the playoffs is because we're sandbagging, right? Mm-hmm. And man, I just don't know. When we were 9-1 last year, maybe I could buy that.
You do that. Yeah. And that's
when you're 5-4 and you're in third place in your division.
And you've got a few hard games to get to.
I feel like you need that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was perplexing to me, obviously I was excited, like what a great play. And then Rice does what he does best across the field.
Wide open.
Somehow. And it was schemed wide open.
Yeah.
And so I was just kind of wondering where some of those like play calls were.
Which, I mean, we did see some of the splash plays we talked about.
Yeah.
Like we were definitely going downfield, but we getting ourselves in this position to where it's 2nd and long, 3rd and long, and then you're relying on it rather than utilizing.
And you know what you need on 2nd and 3rd and long and a predictable pass play? Pass protection. Right. You need an offensive line to give your quarterback more than a second and a half.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of what
they were having to get Mahomes out of the pocket. They were having to get really crafty with him just on the protection side.
And I think Mahomes looked a little, he only had like one rush, was it? Did Mahomes have one rush for, I don't even know what it was.
For 5 yards. Yeah.
5 yards? Okay, good. Thanks for checking that for me.
Yeah.
And in games where the offensive line has struggled earlier in the season, he was rushing a lot.
He was having to be Superman.
And so you kind of wonder, was he settled into, okay, this is my new routine. I'm going to wait. Because he was holding onto the ball in the pocket, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to wait for these receivers to come open because I have receivers that can get open.
Yeah, he's got the receiving core. And so it's just a matter of getting the time to get
When last night, and hindsight's 2020, Hall of Fame quarter. But I wonder if last night he wishes he would have broke pocket a little bit more.
Yeah. At least break containment to where they're having to bring a linebacker to spy him a little more.
Yeah.
So,
and I haven't looked that close. They could have, one of the reasons he didn't is they could have had a spy.
Yeah.
That I just was missing because they were only having to rush 4. So you put 2 spies.
You've got plenty of guys
on Mahomes and still man everybody up.
Oh, you're totally right. Yeah. So it's good to see Travis Kelce. He's an old guy, but he's still leading the pack. Like he is still, I mean, he took some big hits.
Yeah.
And Mahomes took a huge hit. Did you see that?
He did on the sideline, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, I wouldn't get up from that.
Yeah.
No, that was
pancaked. Yeah.
Mauled.
Yeah.
So, but I think...
You know, I'm a glass half empty.
I'm a glass half full.
Okay.
So we work
Everyone together. Remember that as we go through the season. I am. I mean, I'm just like... My girls were like, you're so pessimistic. And I'm like, no, I'm realistic. Did you see what we just watched for the last 3 hours? So I think we'll be a good, bounce off of each other back and forth. But you want a little glass half full for me?
I love it. I need it.
Harrison Butker was pure. All of his kicks were down the middle, on point. He looked smooth.
Locked in.
Locked in, yeah.
It was funny because on that field goal, in my mind, I'm a little bit nervous.
On the 49-yarder?
Yeah. And I'm never nervous with Butker.
Yeah.
This year, he's just gotten us. But yeah, he was pure. I feel like in those big time moments, I think he can step up to the plate.
Stefan, I can find the silver lining.
So let's talk about the silver lining then. So I said earlier, the way that we played, only being down by a score, was pretty big. I think that puts us in an okay position. Obviously, we've got a ton of work to do. What do you think the next steps are for us? What do you think? Obviously, getting our front 5, our offensive line healthy.
Yeah.
Getting the scheme right there.
Yeah.
Where do we go?
Well, you use the words way forward, right, in the intro. I really think the way forward with the offensive line is to just get healthy, right? You get Josh Simmons back. Now Jalen Moore can be a swing tackle. Juwan Taylor comes back into form. Trey Smith heals up. Not too terribly worried about that. I have been, since we started this podcast, wondering how we're going to fix the defensive line issue. Yeah. And so what I have to hang my hat on there is that Spags will figure it out. Yep. That as his defenses do get better throughout the season. But we miss Turk Wharton. Do you remember Tershawn Wharton?
Oh,
we lost to free agency. We miss him on the interior.
It was fun to get Pennell back, but it's crazy to me that a guy that gets dropped off a team is our starter.
Yeah. He gets handed his pink slip in Cincy, and they're like, can't wait for him to get out the door. And then now he's the second defensive lineman in snaps last night.
That's crazy to me.
So that's not a good sign, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. That is. So having something, I do think in the trade, if we can get a defensive lineman,
Some type of D lineman, yeah.
That's definitely talk.
Mm-hmm.
There's talk about running back. I think right now I would focus on D line because with Pacheco coming back, I think that we do have the team.
And there's just no history of Brett Veach paying big money for a running back, much less trading for a marquee running back.
Yeah.
Like it just hasn't happened.
Running by committee, we're okay with that.
That's who we are.
And if we can get 100 plus rushing yard, we didn't get it this week.
No.
But if we can get 100 plus, then we're typically in good shape.
Hunt and Pacheco combined.
Yeah. Absolutely. That way we're more balanced on that end.
Yeah, I just think, I was watching a YouTuber who was like, we have to get Breece Hall. We have to get Devon Achane. In what universe, A, do we pay them?
Yeah.
And how much draft capital we have to give up, B, and when has Brett Veach ever spent significant resources, draft or salary, on a running back?
Yeah, which is a hard investment to make.
CEH.
Top from your top 3.
Here we're back to CEH. He spent a first round draft.
That's where he learned his lesson.
Yeah. No, I think that's a once bit, twice shy for.
Yeah. You've got 2 or 3 top running backs, but even they age so quickly. They just take too many hits.
They do.
So I think you're right.
I don't see it.
Running by committee.
Yeah.
Keeping that up.
Yep.
I know that the answer is we've got to get pressure on the quarterback, but what do we do with those gap plays, the tight end, the flex position? How do we cover that better?
The only is to get a linebacker off the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, and get a Jaden Hicks in there, right? Or a Jamari Connor. Get one of these safeties in there that can hold up with covering a tight end.
Man, I would love to see that, but we can't take a linebacker off the field unless we
if you can't stop the run.
Yeah,
yep.
And so,
or get pressure. Right?
Yeah, and so we've got to be able to stop the run. I think the Chiefs' defense is interesting because it's like this game. We're going to talk about it next week. Was a bye. The following week,
we're not losing to the bye.
We're not going to lose to the bye, but we could. I mean, like you said earlier in the podcast, we haven't given up a 100-yard runner for 30 games, and so it's like, man. Is that the investment? Like it's hard. It's until you get a major blowout or a huge situation against you, it's hard to pull the trigger on some of those things. So maybe this will be that just a little bit of push to let's try to jump in and get something.
We don't seem like a front office that makes decisions like, rash decisions out of, one game, responding to one game, but this wouldn't be like investing in a trade for a defensive lineman would not be a one game rash decision. This has been throughout the season. We have not been able to get pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you. I do love that our franchise is a stable franchise.
Yeah.
You see the franchises that literally just because they need fan base, they're going to go after somebody.
They go get a marquee player.
And they're going to overspend on them, do the whole thing.
Spend too much on their quarterback and then 1 or 2 other free agents and then they can't build a roster.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate the fact that Veach and his team are very long. They have the long game in focus.
And the NFL is just built as a system, as an organization, to where teams are not supposed to get to the championship game 8 years in a row.
Like free agency,
the draft,
right?
The salary cap. There's so many different things going against you, and in order for the Chiefs to be in this position in the first place,
and the way coaches jump creative. Staffs, like you get a good offensive defensive coordinator, and they're jumping
every time.
So
and so the fact that we've had Spags and Nags is back and
success,
exactly. So I think that is one thing, and that's when I see the Colts, somebody they get hot real quick. I just am waiting because it's going to be a downfall because it's a roller coaster for them.
I talked to a friend yesterday about the Colts in the morning, and I told him like, we'll see. Do you remember a few years ago when the Arizona Cardinals started 10-0?
Yeah.
And then 2 years ago, the Steelers started like 9-0?
Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. When those type of teams with last place schedules start off hot, I'm always like, we'll see. Maybe they'll be the next team that, comes up like the Texans have been and others, and like the Bills were and us at one time, but we'll see.
We'll see. But yeah, I'm with you. I think the sustainable success is a key thing. So not getting the splash player, but getting somebody that can help us stop.
Yeah, like a Melvin Ingram, if you remember. Yeah. We got Terrell Suggs for like half the season in one of those runs.
Last year. You get some of these these well-established players.
Yeah.
They're not super
Talk
expensive.
of picking up Calais what's Campbell? Calais Campbell? Yeah.
Calais Campbell.
Calais Campbell.
Nice.
He's like 39 years old.
Bring it on.
Right.
He'll get 4 solid plays a game for you, but he'll bring leadership.
Sure. Yeah.
And so, but just in general, I think that as we're going through the season, we're obviously in the hunt. We're by no means out of the hunt. And I'm certain we're going to get into the playoffs. That's when our real season is going to start here. We've just got to get some
with 3 road games.
We've done it before.
2 of the 3 on the road. Yeah.
We've done it and we can do it. And so I'm not
Which,
concerned
did you hear
about
Mahomes in his presser last night? I actually appreciated this.
He's like, you can only learn so much from losses. Is that what you're saying?
No, when they asked him about the playoffs and the playoff picture, and he goes, well, we have to get there first.
Nice. Yeah.
I mean, so they're not living in complete delusion. Like,
exactly.
We're not in the playoffs this week.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not panicking. The sky isn't falling, but we don't have a lot of games to just lose for the sake of losing and learning.
Yeah, absolutely. We've learned a lot of lessons this year.
I think we've learned enough lessons from losing at this point.
Hopefully. So our team, though, I mean, I really think we have the pieces in place still, aside from maybe getting one more
concerned
defensive
about
lineman,
the D-line. Yeah.
getting some pressure, but across the board, I mean, how we are a little bit nitpicky in some regards because our defense is still a solid defense.
Yeah.
And so getting into those positions, making sure we have the right personnel, but also having the mindset of we're going to make it through this. And the media is going to be crazy this week, and especially since it's a bye week next week. Like, the sky is going to be falling.
Sure.
Everything's going to be unraveling for the Chiefs. The Chiefs are just going to be in the building, and they're going to be working and
resting, getting healthy.
Yeah. Statistically, I feel bad.
Self-scouting.
Is it the Broncos that we play after the
we played the Broncos after the bye.
Boy, there's
in Denver.
0 chance. If I was into gambling, I think I'd put a lot of money on the Chiefs.
You feel that confident?
Coming off a bye and off a loss to the Bills, that I think they're going to.
Have you watched the Broncos?
I've watched them a little bit. Yeah.
Their pass rush is.
My phone has got the Bronco color.
Elite.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I didn't mention that, but it is a concern. At least it doesn't have their logo on.
Their pass rush. That's the thing that's scary. I mean, their defense is unbelievable.
That's really the only kryptonite that our offense has is if you can get pressure with 4.
Yeah.
Because we do have the skill position players. If we can run at all and Mahomes has time, we will be difficult to stop. Our offense will.
It's the balance.
Yeah.
Getting Pacheco back in the scheme, just having enough time where Mahomes isn't just thrown off kilter every single play. He was just not comfortable.
He wasn't.
You could tell.
You could tell.
And so having him in a comfortable position in the pocket, trusting his guys, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of getting there.
So the sky is the limit instead of the sky is falling.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm with you. What do you feel good about this? You're glass half empty.
I don't feel great. I'm not panicking.
Yeah.
But the defensive line and offensive line has been in the past where we have fallen short against elite teams in both Super Bowls. In the AFC Championship game against the Bengals. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Offensive line, I think the answers are in the building. Defensive line, I don't see them yet, but in Spags we trust.
In Spags we trust. Any additional last-minute key takeaways that you have for us for this week?
Man, no. Rest up.
Rest up.
Yeah, rest up and scout the Broncos.
Yes.
Because I think this is a low-scoring game.
I mean,
against the Broncos, yeah.
And they, like, we were winning those one-score games last year.
They're winning the one-score games this year.
And we're not. We're not getting them. We're 0 for 4 in one score. So we've got to have that energy back for sure. So,
yep.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this week. We are so excited to have this podcast. It's for the kingdom, by the kingdom.
That's right.
We want to be a part of the kingdom journey.
Yeah.
And we're going to see this thing.
We want to help walk Chiefs through the highs and then the lows. Right.
Mainly the highs. I'll take the highs. You take the lows.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
So, but we're excited. This game was a tough one, but we're going to get into the bye, get healthy, and we will see you against the Broncos in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks.